think while we're waiting on you to hop on Roll20, Nick, I'll fill us in on where we were last time real fast. So remember, y'all were at the city of Bryn Shander, and you were preparing for the arrival of the dragon. And Guardian, you had met up with a blacksmith named Garn, and the two of you were working on ballista to fire these nets to help you bring the dragon down. You'd been about 4 hours into it when Rorgar, you got a message from Suzanne that she has spotted the Chardalyn dragon headed this way from the town of Targos. That it's headed southeast towards you guys. That's where we'll actually pick up, because that's kind of right where we stopped last time. Yeah, Rorgar, you've just got the message that the dragon is on the way. However, you could know through Dragon Reckoning, you've been told by Suzanne that you have approximately 15 minutes before the dragon gets very close to the city.
Rorgar will tell everyone else that information. And do we know where Guardian went to?
Yeah, I think so. He went to the smithy, and I think that was public knowledge at the time.
Yeah.
So I think once Rorgar tells everyone else, he'll go and make quickest speed to make sure Guardian knows what's up.
Immediately after you tell everyone, Rorgar, the speaker gives an order, and then all of a sudden there's a loud bell that's probably ringing from the center of town. And as soon as the bell starts ringing, everyone sort of goes into a panic. The guards immediately rush to their places, and the people that aren't in buildings yet are all kind of racing, scurrying back and forth to try to get where they are. It's very chaotic. You can tell the speaker has probably done the best she can to get this horde of people to coordinate to where they need to be, but still some people are just panicking and running back and forth to wherever they can go. But Rorgar, you do eventually...
I assume I hear the bell.
Yeah, you can hear the bell really from inside the smith. And Guardian, you and Garn at this point have only been able to assemble 3 of those ballista. You realize that if you had more time, you could have maybe have made bigger ones, or you could have made arrows that could help take down the dragon, but this is all you had time for.
So you broke a bullet there.
I was saying that in the time that you had, you only had 4 hours really, you were only able to assemble 3 of the ballista that can fire nets to help bring down the dragon.
Okay, so we had enough time to have the nets and the ballistas made, though.
Yeah, it worked out well because the nets are just basically fishing nets that you were able to reinforce with the weights and everything and attach a chain to, so you kind of had the nets already. Oh no. Let me see. We've tried this before. I'll see if I can change regions. I don't think I have that access, but let's see.
Discord took that option away. They now connect to the best region between everyone.
Right. One sec. I'll try to change something here.
It sounds too consistent.
Cool. All right. See, where was I? So, like I was saying, Guardian, you've managed to put together 3 of those ballista. So you feel like you can probably, you'll have to use those 3 to try to take down the dragon. You know, if you had more time, you could have probably put together a big arrow or something to help you shoot it down, but this is all you were able to manage.
Okay. I open the door and grab any guard I can see, or any big individual.
Well, I think I'm there with you now.
So the door opens and a hand comes up and grabs you.
Oh!
Grab one.
Yes.
Give you a ballista.
I'll lift it as best as I can. I have a pretty good strength, so I'll lift it and start moving it into the position. I guess we already planned out positions in the square.
You haven't yet, and let me describe them to you because you said you want to grab them. So let me tell you what you're talking about here. So these things are about 2.5 meters long and probably about 2 meters tall. So they are designed if you had time to actually build them the way that they were meant to be built. What would happen is they're designed to launch like large arrows, like arrows that are as long as a person is tall. but in this case, you didn't have time to build those and calibrate them and everything. So this is crudely launching a net, but essentially it has wheels, and it's almost like siege equipment, basically. And I'd say 1 or 2 people can roll one of them, and we'll get to the details in a minute, but it actually takes, if everything is right, a crew of probably 2 or 3 people to actually man each one of these. One person can do it, but it's a lot slower. But this is basically a large piece of siege equipment.
Okay. If it's got a wheel, if it's wheeled, I can probably Rorgar could probably move one by himself. So he'll start wheeling it towards the square.
I'm just gonna look at the wall for a second. Is it like hay and thatch and like some brittle wood, or is it actually like for that side of the wall that's more towards the doorway and everything like that?
When you say wall, do you mean the gate or the wall of the town?
No, the wall inside is blacksmith.
Oh, the wall inside the blacksmith. Yeah, his blacksmithy is a mixture of stone and wood and stuff. It's most of the buildings here are built out of stone actually, but they have like thatch roofs and some have actually wooden roofs and stuff.
So would the wall with the door be stone, or would that be like thin wood and thatching?
It's wood. He's actually designed the blacksmith in such a way that one of the walls is like a large wooden door. Like it's probably, you can tell from the stuff that he's worked on, he probably brings in like, he builds, like large carts and stuff. So he's designed his whole smithy, like forge, to actually have a large gate that people can come in and out of.
Okay, I'm opening that, and I'm gonna toss 2 chains around one of each of the other 2 ballistas, and I'm just gonna start wheeling them out. Like an ox pulling a carriage.
And Rorgar, it might be a little surprising to you. I don't know what you were expecting when you walked in there, but these are 3 very large, they look basically like large crossbows, essentially.
It is fine work you've done in a limited amount of time, my friend.
Put more effort into your legs than your mouth right now. Go. Guardian is just a bundle of joy for everyone right now.
All right, and you can see that many of the town guards are taking their positions around the wall of the city, and the sheriff also has a number of guards with long spears, and then also like crossbows and stuff, and they're lined up towards the center of town, sort of like right there. And let's maybe move to the next map, and I'll let y'all tell me how you want to arrange these catapults, or yourselves even, to deal with what you've got here. So the ballista here are the tokens, and if you look on Roll20 in your journal, you've actually got a folder that says creatures and NPCs, and then Bryn Shander, and there's 2 sheets there. The first one is the ballista themselves, and the second one is Bryn Shander, the town. So the way I'm going to manage it is Bryn Shander, the town, has 1,200 hit points, which represents the town, and also has 2 attacks that it can do. So if we go into combat, Bryn Shander, the town, will actually have an initiative slot, and then each of the ballista will as well. But the way the ballista work, if you look on that character sheet, there are 4 actions that this thing can take, and each one of them is a full action. So a reload, and then it has to reload before it can aim, and then it has to aim before it can fire, and then once it's fired, if it's actually grappled something, then you can use a move action to move it. And the way it grapples is just like any other character grappling situation. And the stats for the ballista are actually for the ballista crew, so like a strength of 16 is if you let one of the guards actually try to grapple, and then the dex is if they actually try to aim and shoot it. And y'all can take on any of those positions that you would like. So for example, if all of you managed 1 ballista, you could reload, aim, and fire all in one single round. But if you wanted to, you could each take 1 action from one of the ballista, or so on and so forth. And when it comes to grappling, if no one is actually grappling, then we'll just use the strength score of the ballista crew.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yep.
But the crew, which are just guards, really, they only get 1 action a turn. So like if y'all don't hop on one of the ballista, all that the ballista crew by themselves can do is like one turn they can reload, and then the next round they can aim, and the next round they can fire. So they're not going to be very fast.
Okay.
But the range of these are 120 feet and then all the way up to 480 feet with disadvantage.
Okay.
So pretty far.
Oh no, there's a dead man there.
Yeah, this is possibly planning for the future. I don't know.
No, he's just been there for a while.
They just left him there.
It's just raspberry jam. He tripped and fell taking a crate of raspberry jam. Okay, well, if we are getting in position, Garns is gonna haul to roughly the same spot, and then he's gonna have Rogar move one of the ballistas a little further away.
But Virion, as you see the ballistas, you realize it's something you could aim and fire. You've had a lot of experience with ranged weapons, not just with bows. You can understand the principle here in that they're firing nets, so you don't really have to be that precise just in the area of the dragon, and you should be able to catch it. But as you look at the nets, Virion, you realize these are fishing nets, and while knucklehead trout are pretty strong, you are going up against a dragon.
This might get a little dicey with these nets we've put together here.
Oh, well, you know what? Let's send an owl to the dragon and have him wait for a moment.
All right, if you think that would be best, that we can do that.
He's just gonna stare at you.
Virion will meet his gaze.
Right. You heard the man. Get an owl to the dragon. He's just gonna keep moving the ballista.
My favorite interaction so far.
What do we think is a better idea? Would we want to concentrate so we can use all three ballistas at once and try to knock down the dragon quickly? Or would we be better spreading out the sight lines so we can keep hitting it over and over again, no matter where it moves?
Let's have two relatively close by, one a little further away. And if we can get all three nets on that thing, we can bring it down pretty easily.
I think that's a good idea.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, so I was thinking like two of them here and maybe one of them on this side so it covers the big blind spot over there. Like maybe over here.
Yeah, we can move it over there. Spread it out a little bit. There you go.
And Rogar will man one of the ballistas. He doesn't really feel like confident in his aim, but he's more than willing to help reload the thing.
Garns is gonna
Virion will
walk
move
over.
to that one and help Rorgar with the aiming.
I'm moving in the middle just in case I have to like start buffing pretty quickly if we get it down.
I think this is the first time we've actually planned something and might actually work. Jesus.
Don't jinx us.
Well,
Should
if that
we-
owl makes it in time, we'll be okay.
Friend, should we tell Suzanne to wait to attack until the dragon has appeared over the town square?
Yeah, you know what? Have her go up high, and the moment the dragon gets a net or two over him, have her dive bomb him to the ground.
Yes, this is what I was thinking as well. And I will give those instructions to Suzanne.
Gargan's just gonna look at the speaker and the sheriff like, why the hell are you two out here still?
And the sheriff says, my men are ready. we've never fought anything like this before, but and he looks around at the other men. You know, there's like I said, there's rows of them. There are actually a lot of them, but they're just carrying very, ordinary spears, and then they have crossbows, and some have bows and arrows. They're ready to help you fight the dragon, but from experience also that they're probably not going to do too much. When you break it to the ground, maybe they can help you, but those arrows in particular, Virion, when you look at them, you had really good shots when you were hitting it before, but they just broke as soon as they hit the armor of it.
Gar's just gonna look at the soldiers, and he's gonna look at the sheriff. Can I say a few words?
The speaker says, yes, of course. We would certainly love to know what you have to say.
Good. Soldiers of this fine town, prepare to die. But don't expect death. If you're prepared to die, you're going to give everything and every ounce you have to fight this dragon. And if you do that, and if you do give everything, there's a good chance that you will live and make it through. I don't want any of you taking a hit or trying to defend against a hit. Dodge it, get out of the way, run from it. Don't stand there and let a tail hit you across the face, because there's not going to be much of a face left, and your mothers and wives and kids will be very sad that they have to keep the lid closed. So do your best. Give it your all.
So, Guardian, is this, would you call this a performance, perhaps?
No, he's intimidating.
Intimidating, okay.
Intimidating them, do your best.
You have the same score for all of it, so
Yeah.
whatever you'd like to do. I was going to make you do a roll, please, for that.
Okay. Intimidation. An 11.
It seems as though some people perhaps are understanding you a bit. Like, so you get some some people are shaking their heads, they're kind of nodding at you. Most of them are looking to the sheriff for direction. You don't seem to have had like a big impact. Like, people aren't like smiling and or anything like that. But there is a difference here you've noticed between this militia, and I think Rorgar, you've really picked this up with your training, that this militia seems to be much more disciplined than the militia in Lonelywood, which, those guys were really just farmers with spears. This actually looks like a guard, that this is their job, and they do seem to be more disciplined. Now when the dragon shows up, who knows, but they seem like they're holding ranks, they're waiting for orders, they have a clear chain of command and everything.
I think I'm not going to say anything. I actually, I think he got there with the speech.
In Garner's head, he's not trying to get them, all riled up. He's just trying to get them prepared for, what's going to happen and what they should do. He's not trying to give them a locker room coach pep talk. He's just like, you're probably going to die. Just accept that. Give it your all.
Sorry, tell me what Suzanne's strategy is going to be.
Suzanne's going to fly incredibly high in the sky, and when she sees that there have been a few nets attached to this dragon, she will dive bomb to attempt to help bring it down.
Okay. For ease, let's just say the round the round that you want her to come in, we'll just have her at the last initiative slot, and that'll represent her dive bombing, and she'll just show up at the end of that round.
That works for me.
You're just gonna look around for a second, like, where's that other dumbass? That speaker from the town. Not this one, the other one.
And Speaker Shane says, "Oh, you mean Maxwell Dinar? I haven't been able to find him. I looked, of course, and didn't spend too much time. There's more important things, but he's disappeared since he showed up in town."
Have you checked the crawl spaces, nooks, crannies, under women's skirts?
No, I imagine that's where you'll find him, though, but we have much more important things to do. I hope that he took our notice and is has gone to a safe place, but that's after this situation is resolved, I suppose.
Well, I don't know if I told you this or not, but if shit goes sideways and your people needs a place to go, Goodmead will gladly accept you all.
Thank you. And Viren, as you're standing at the ballista that you're manning, you notice a dwarf. He's pretty short, actually, compared to dwarves that you've met. He kind of makes his way towards you. You notice that he has pretty impressive mohawk and tattoos on the side of his head. And he walks up to you and he says, you know what you're doing here?
I have thoughts and ideas. Yeah. Do you know what you're doing here?
Watching some cute little elf, trying to shoot down a dragon with this thing I threw together in a couple hours with this giant weird piece of armor who's kind of an asshole.
Sorry, I didn't hear the rest of that. You said I was cute?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're an elf, right?
Sure am.
So we never had a chance to test these things, so it's possible it breaks. And with a torque at that line, he points to the part of the crossbow, I forget it. It's like the string, I forget, it actually has a technical name, but he says, if that breaks, the force could probably cut you in half. If that happens, sorry, it's his fault. And he points to Guardian.
That's all right. He's going through some stuff right now. So we'll be delicate with it, or at least try to be.
Yeah, it's an interesting design. Your friend came up with here. Yeah, I hope it works. I've never tested these nets on dragons before.
Any tips or things we should watch out for besides getting cut in half with the drawstring?
Yeah, you're gonna want to point it at the dragon.
All right. Virion will write that down on his arm.
Wait, did you say aim at the dragon?
I thought we were planning on doing that. Is there a different plan that I don't know?
Rogar starts adjusting the aim that he had set already on the ballista.
And Garn says, now this is going to be a slow loading thing, so you're going to have to aim. And then, and he points to basically like a basket that's full of the nets kind of rolled up into a ball. And he's like, you put the ball here, and he shows you like where it lands on the ballista near the bottom. It's sort of like a bucket, essentially. And you can tell what happens is the string of the crossbow will pull the bucket to the end and just launch the net into the air. It's very crude, but you can tell the power of this this string from the crossbow should probably kick it up very far in the air, but it's not going to be a finesse kind of weapon at all.
Well, I think the idea seems to be there, Garn. I wish we had a little more time to put something a little more solid that's up to your standards together, but you know, we'll make do with what we got.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. And the time of day, it's actually 12 o'clock, almost on the nose. So the sun has still created some light here in the city. Actually, this is probably the brightest point of the day, fortunately. And as Garn is saying that to you, Virion, your eye line looks up and you see the dark form of the Chardalyn dragon approaching the city. And it kind of crept up on you, like you didn't actually see it moving. And you realize that it's almost completely silent. You can hear the sounds of the wings flapping, but it's not making sounds that you would expect a large creature to make. It's not like roaring or anything like that. It's just flying at you guys, and it's just like a black shape on the horizon that's high up. As it gets closer and closer, it just gets larger, and you can make out more details.
Everyone get in position.
And then the dragon's about 60 feet up. You see it as it approaches from the north. and immediately it starts to breathe that golden breath weapon out of its mouth. And as it hits the walls of Bryn Shander, it just basically vaporizes that part of the wall, and it makes a few strafing runs. So you all are in the center of town, but it's working its way on the north of town, just going back and forth, almost very methodically in lines, carving out only the wall also, and then the houses that are in that area, and it's just gradually making its way further and further south.
Okay, Speaker, find yourself a basement and hide.
She looks and she says, I think I think I'll, I think I can do that. And she kind of runs away a bit.
I'm just going to point to one of the guards, like, you, keep her safe.
And one of the guards says, yeah. And you can tell all of the guards or all of the militia they're watching the attack, and they look like they might be ready to break ranks, not out of fear, but also mostly out of confusion. You can tell they've probably trained, which is why they're not doing that, why they're not panicking, but they don't know what to do here. So they've probably practiced all sorts of scenarios. They've probably fought things before, but this dragon destroying their town, all in the air, they have no idea what to do.
Sheriff, tell your people to get the civilians to safety.
We've already done that. All right, men. He raises his hand. Everyone, knock your arrows. And those with crossbows raise their crossbows, and those with bows, put an arrow in their bow. And they all kind of aim in the direction. And the sheriff's like, wait till it's in range. It's too far away.
So I'm assuming there's some guards manning this ballista with me.
Yeah, I'd say there's probably like 2 or 3.
And then this one here is all guards manning it.
Yeah. The only thing the guards will do when we actually get into normal initiative and with, actually have turns and stuff, is they can only do one action for you a round. So
I assume that right now all the ballistas are loaded, ready to fire. We're aiming.
They're loaded already. You still have to aim, and then you can fire.
Okay. So we're just now waiting for the dragon to get close enough to us.
I guess so. Yeah, you hear screams and shouts from the northern part of the city as people are perhaps being killed or, killed by the breath weapon, and possibly, or the buildings they're in as the buildings are collapsing. But it's making like a zigzag, very methodical, and it's just, you can see this breath weapon, when it meets any of those buildings, it just totally destroys it.
Friends, I could get Suzanne to try to lure the dragon to us, to try to save some of the town.
That'll get her out of position from the dive, but go ahead.
So I'll ask Suzanne to kind of come down and try to get the attention of the mecha dragon with a roar.
Why don't you have Suzanne roll an intimidation for me, which is just charisma. I don't think she has any skill in it.
That's a big fat 0.
So that's a 4. Okay. The dragon does not seem to break off its attack. So what Suzanne does is she dives down, and she dives and like slaps it with her tail as she gets close, but it still continues its destructive path as it zigzags from the northern part of the city. You notice in a few minutes that's probably going to start being in range, but it hasn't turned away from its path of destruction.
Yeah, seeing how ineffective that is, I'll have Suzanne try to get back into the position she was in before.
And you can see Suzanne in the light. She stands out as whitish silver, to the dark bluish black sky, and particularly with the Chardalyn dragon just being a black spot in the air, she stands out even more. But you see her very quickly. She ascends up and really out of view. You don't see her, like she's so far up. The limited visibility you have, you can't see. But the Chardalyn dragon itself, the black dragon, is about 60 feet off the ground. It hasn't really gone up or lower since its attack. but it starts to get into range, and it's not flying directly at you. It's doing, like I said, a back and forth pattern of just constant destruction.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of get annoyed by hearing screams of people dying. Yeah, he's just going to try and rock the thing too, much like he has done before when he goes into a rage.
Okay. At this point, the Chardalyn dragon is in range, so let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh, okay. I guess I won't do the intimidate thing.
Sorry.
I think that's the best initiative I've rolled all campaign.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Guardian is ready to fight.
So the town of Bryn Shander rolled a 16. Very nice.
Rogar was distracted because he's still afflicted by that madness, so he's clutching his holy symbol to his chest.
has it not been 20 hours yet?
No, it has been 15, so you're close, Guardian. Okay, I think I got everybody. Then I'm going to put Suzanne on the bottom. And I think first one is Guardian.
Wait, I think you put the bad guy dragon instead of Suzanne.
No, the Chardalyn dragon just rolled a 1.
Ah, okay.
That was my roll. He's a 1.
It's in range of the ballistas.
Yeah, let me see. He's 60 feet up, so I'll do like I did before and mark that. I guess that's 150 feet away if it's 90 feet across and then 60 feet up.
So just within range then.
Yep, just within normal range. You can go all the way up to 480 feet, but that's with disadvantage.
Yeah. Okay. And it's dex to fire, strength for grapple.
Yep. So you got to hit it first.
I don't have dex. Shit.
Believe in yourself.
Because of the way this is going to work, I would allow you to change initiative with folks, but you'll basically be giving them your score. So like if you wanted Varian to fire, I would just have you swap initiative scores with Varian.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. So Varian, you hear beside you Guardian grumbling, but you notice the Chardalyn dragon is in range.
We'll take a shot, I guess. So Dex.
Yeah, to Dex.
Does he get his proficiency bonus?
He does, yeah.
Oh, so plus. Wait, is there a +3 already on that then?
That's your dex modifier, but if you have proficiency, then that's another 3.
All right, so that would be 15.
Unfortunately, as you fire the net, what happens is the net opens but sails far away from the dragon, perhaps caught by the wind. But that is a miss.
Well, he has inspiration.
Yeah, I will burn an inspiration there. Absolutely. Come on. 19.
And 19 will hit.
There we go. And using the, I guess there's nothing to that.
You can do an immediate grapple check to see if the net has actually wrapped the dragon, and this is something that you can do for free, Guardian, if you want. If you want to be the person that's, like pulling the net to wrap the dragon with, you can be the one that does the check.
Oh, yes.
100%
So yes.
You do an opposed. I'm assuming you're going to go strength athletics opposed with the dragon.
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't have your turn yet, so you haven't started rage.
That's fine. I'm going to inspiration that. Because that's awful.
26 will do it. So what happens is the net wraps up the wing, a part of the wing and the body of the dragon, and it can still hover. But now that you've managed to grapple it, you can now do the action to move it. And the move target action, which is on the sheet, says you can move it 30 feet or hold it in place. And now it can be 30 feet towards you or even 30 feet down if you want to start pulling it towards the ground.
Well, we had planned for Suzanne to dive bomb it. So, can I move it now?
On your turn, you can.
On my turn?
Because that's an action, yeah.
Okay.
So what I've done is I put a red dot on ballista number 2 and then a red dot on the dragon to try to keep track of what ballista actually has it grappled, because that does kind of matter here. That was a good shot, Virion. Is there anything else you want to do?
I guess I can use a second action, right? Does that count as an attack, or can I?
We'll call that a single action. So when you have the attack action and you have like the ability to multi-attack, you take the attack action, but you can attack twice. So this is still just your one action to do one of the things on the ballista list, and that's all you can do.
Okay, perfect. That's what I was hoping for. So I'll just start reloading that ballista then.
Okay. So someone will have to take the reload action to actually reload it.
Oh, okay. So that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
you can
different
only
than what I
do
thought.
one action with the ballista. Your action this time was to shoot it.
Gotcha. Okay. I guess I'll just hold a reaction in case the dragon uses its breath weapon or something. I'll get ready to dodge. I'll take a dodge reaction.
Okay.
But I think that's about it.
Okay. And next we'll move to the town of Bryn Shander, which is going to be reflected in the militia. So the militia could fire their arrows. Would y'all like them to try that?
So the ballista crews are separate from them. Okay.
Yeah. The Bryn Shander marker just represents the militia who are not at the ballistas, they're like the ones around with spears and arrows and stuff. So there's probably about 200 actually of them throughout the town. In the center square where you all are, there's probably about 100 of them. And like I said, they're holding formation. They have spears, and then the ones that have arrows are ready to shoot.
I think we just have them shoot, right? Even though it's probably only going to do 1 damage if it does hit.
Okay. So I will roll for you. You only get 1 attack, and they rolled an 11, which unfortunately does not hit. So their arrows fly through the air, and even with a dragon suspended by the net and the chain that's connected to the ballista, the militia are not able to hit it. And you would think like something this large would be pretty easy, but the problem is the visibility is really poor anyway. It's very low light, and there's a slight bit of wind that's been blowing. And Virion, you can tell, especially from your experience in the snow, that one of those storms that you all have encountered many times before is starting to blow in from the north, which is the last thing you need. But that could be why the militia missed. But now we move to Guardian.
Yeah, we're going to pull that thing as far as we can closer towards us.
Okay. Do you want to pull it just down towards you, or do you actually want to pull it like from 60 feet down to 30 feet?
Let's just do towards.
Towards, okay.
Could you split the difference?
I'd let you do that. Yeah, so 15 feet down and then 15 feet closer.
Sure, we'll do that.
So it's now 45 feet up.
Okay. I think it's my turn. I don't know what else to do.
All right, Laja. You're standing between the two ballista crews and you see the dragon. It's got one net attached to it. And this guardian, gives it a big pull. He pulls it down lower slightly and then more towards you.
Great. Since I know that we are still not feeling too good because we got caught on the way here attacked, I'm going to cast Aura of Vitality, and then I'm going to use that to heal us as it starts going through. So let me zoom in a little bit, see who is the worst off. I think I'll just do me first and then do everybody else next couple of turns. So that'll be 8 HP of healing, and that'll be my action and my bonus action.
All right, very good. Moving on to you, Rorgar.
I think Rorgar will attempt to fire this ballista at the dragon.
Okay, it's a ranged attack using your dexterity, and you can add your proficiency bonus to it.
All right, so I'll get a +3. I get a nothing for the dexterity.
Okay. Ooh. Unfortunately, with a 0, I'd say, we're not doing critical fails or fumbles or anything, but perhaps the ballista wasn't calibrated correctly. So as you aimed at the dragon and you hit the button, and what happens is the bucket is pulled to the end of the ballista, but the netting doesn't really go anywhere; it just kind of falls out the end on the ground.
Does Rorgar want an inspiration to that?
Oh, I'm tempted to, but I also am tempted to save it for later.
I'll give you one of mine, and I'll hold on to the other one for later.
Okay.
Use it wisely.
So that's
Oh,
a 12.
no.
This time the net actually goes out of the end of the crossbow or the ballista, but it doesn't go very far, and in fact you do also miss the dragon.
Rorgar.
It's because Rorgar tried to adjust it at the last second. He said that right before we rolled initiative, so obviously he adjusted it wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, it's bad. If I could get within 10 feet of the dragon, I could get advantage on this. Am I within 10 feet by any chance?
No. You are still a bit away from the dragon. You could
Had
always
to
push
ask.
it closer.
No, I think that's it. I don't have any bonus actions that I can use right now. Rogar will just in shame just start quickly trying to assist in reloading.
All right. So that moves us on to the ballista crew. I assume that's what they're going to do, is just start reloading.
Yes.
There is number 3 who didn't shoot.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to number 3 yet. So the way I'm keeping track of where they're at and the reload aiming, all that, is I just put a number on there. So 1 is going to be aiming, 2 is going to be, or 1 is reload, 2 is aim, and then 3 is able to fire. So you can now aim on the next turn, Rorgar.
I now know what I should have done. I should have just given the crew the help action so they got advantage.
That is also an option, yeah.
Too late.
It's a learning curve.
Moving back to the second ballista, if you would like, you can also have them start to reload, Virion and Guardian.
That's not gonna free the netting.
Oh, I forgot. You have a dragon on the end of your ballista. You could have them do a move. Actually, they can take the same action and they can start to pull the dragon. That's something you can do.
Yes.
So tell me what the 30 movement's going to be: vertical or towards you or split again?
I'd say let's actually bring it closer to the ground.
Okay. So that 30-foot movement, you bring it to 15 feet above the ground, almost within reach. Okay.
And I think seeing it that close to the ground would probably trigger Suzanne.
Okay.
She'll go at the end, right?
Yeah, I'll add her, and then she will have turn order 0. I'm assuming she's gonna dive within reach, so I just dropped her in.
Perfect.
So would somebody like to take ballista crew number 3? They can take a shot. Way over there.
You guys okay if I try it?
Go for it.
Anyone but me.
Let me measure first to see if... okay, cool. Yeah, they are in range. I was thinking they might be a disadvantage, but they're not. They're fine.
Okay, so I just click the fire button.
Yep. Unfortunately, an 11 misses. So from your vantage point, you can see the dark mass of the net just go right on. Let's say at this point, because you pulled it down, to 15 feet, perhaps that crew is aiming higher because their net just goes right above it.
Okay.
But we move on to the dragon.
I didn't realize the crew had a better to hit than I did. I thought it was just going to be based on dex, but they have a +6.
They do?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
With a dex of 0. I think it's actually going off strength.
I pulled these stats online. They might have been doing something different. We'll let it stay, though. My mistake.
They have some very skilled people there.
My mistake will go in your benefit this time.
Yeah, I assume they have similar weapons on the walls of the city. They just weren't designed to fire nets.
Yeah, maybe they're trained somehow. They're good at this somehow.
We've never seen this before, but we're proficient in them. Like, what the fuck?
They're complex characters, okay? We don't know their background. Who knows?
Yeah. That's true.
So what the dragon is going to do is it actually kind of reaches one of its clawed arms around and starts tearing at the net, and it's actually going to use its action to try to break the grapple from ballista crew number 2. So Guardian, since you were the one pulling, if you can give me a strength athletics, it's going to be opposed against the dragon here. Just see what happens.
Alright. Okay, dragon, let's see what you roll.
Dragon rolled a 17. So even as the dragon pulls at the line, Guardian, you still, the chain pulls you a bit and your feet dig into the snow as it pulls you forward a bit, but then you lean back and snatch it. And as you do, it kind of pulls the dragon off balance a little bit as it's hovering in the air and it's not able to pull away. But that takes us to Suzanne. I'll say Suzanne at this point, as she dive bombs, she's probably about 15 feet off the ground also.
Oh, what's wrong with her health?
Also very hurt. Oh wait, no, I did that. Oops.
Yeah, I was like, what happened to her health? She was just full a moment ago.
Well, that's where I put the height, but I'll put that in a different box for her height off the ground. Her altitude, rather. Her altitude is 15 feet. Her health is full.
So can Suzanne essentially just make a push attack to attempt to lower the dragon to the ground?
She can try to grapple it, yeah. And
Okay,
if she
so
succeeds at a grapple, then she can pull it down. Yeah.
Just kind of use her momentum to keep pulling the dragon to the ground. Okay, so of course this isn't easy for Suzanne because Suzanne only has a +2 in strength. But what the hell? Let's do it.
Oh, that's a really good roll for Suzanne. Unfortunately, the Chardalyn dragon rolls better. Suzanne, as she dives in on top of it, it doesn't even see her, but she tries to wrap her arms even her wings and her tail around this dragon. But even as it's, caught up in the net, it manages to kick her off.
And I think that's everything Suzanne could do. Movement was to come down. We use the attack. I don't really think there's any bonus actions that I can do with Suzanne, so that's it.
Taking this to you, Virion.
Varied, I would say split the difference. Like, if it's 30 feet, it's only 15 above the ground. So, split the difference, bring it to the ground, and move it 15 closer to us.
Yep, I'm gonna do that. Do an old pull on the thing. Is that a strength check?
Since it's already grappled, you don't have to do another strength check. This is you doing the move target action.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, so it's an action, unfortunately, that takes up your turn, but you do move it closer. Actually, it's on the ground now.
All right. I guess if it's on the ground, Virion's just gonna move a little bit closer here and just keep holding that dodge reaction.
Okay. If you move away from the ballista, you won't be able to do any of the actions for it. Doesn't really matter so much now, but you have to kind of be in proximity to it.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm all right here then, I think.
Okay.
Just for when we move away from the ballistas, are there people to take our spots?
There are people to take your spots, but like Guardian, for instance, who has been grappling the dragon. Guardian, if you move away from the ballista, what'll happen is if the dragon tries to break the grapple, the crew will be the ones that are making the opposed check.
Roger.
The crew just basically steps in for the roles that you guys don't take.
Okay.
But I think it moves us to the town of Bryn Shander. So I'll let you tell me, do you want them to charge the dragon or just shoot from afar?
Shoot from afar.
Okay. So reloading, they take aim, they fire a volley, and the arrows, many of them miss. The ones that do hit just bounce right off the armor of the dragon, and you see no appreciable damage at all from the probably 50 so arrows that hit it.
Do we see because we already fought this dragon, do we see the damage that we did to it previously?
You see some marks and scratches, but you don't see anything major.
Okay, perfect.
But many of the guards, upon seeing their arrows having virtually no effect to this dragon at all, they lose even more of their confidence. You can tell there's a panicked look back and forth from most of them. But we move on to Guardian.
Well, rage. 1, 2. Now, that would be a problem. But I have a handy chain that reaches 10 feet.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so question for you, DM. I get 2 attack action. I get like an extra attack if I attack with this action here. Can I use my second action to try and grapple?
You can.
Okay, good. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the first attack as a normal attack with the chain. Making sure I'm raging.
It works kind of the same way that Ballista does by doing like grappling at range. You have to hit it, and then if you hit it, then you can grapple. So like your second attack, if your second attack misses, you can't try to grapple it.
Alright. Well, you know what? Recklessly strike at it.
Okay.
22.
A 22 works.
Okay, so that's just for the normal attack. And then the next one is going to be the grapple one. Recklessly, of course. Ooh.
Fortunately, a 13 will not hit. However, your first attack... Okay. Yeah, your first attack did hit.
Okay. Yep, that's my turn.
Oh, I
How do, the,
forgot.
how do the people of Bryn Shander feel now that someone's actually hit this thing?
So you notice a lot of people watch Guardian run up to the dragon, and a few people's like mouths drop, like they just can't believe he's doing this at all. And there's a low cheer that rises up as Guardian, as you sling your chain over your head and you slap the side of the dragon, and it actually leaves like a visible mark on it. And there's like a cry from the people as they're cheering you on as you attack it.
I don't even pay attention to them.
It's like Wrigley Field, where we've built seating on top of some of these buildings for people to watch.
That's kind of what they are at this point, just an audience.
If you build it, they will come.
But we move on to Laja.
Who's a good kitty cat? Yeah, you were.
Okay, I am going to heal Rorgar because I feel like no, Guardian is closer. I'm gonna heal Guardian first. With my Guardian's out of range. Never mind. Yes, Rorgar. Here I am looking at my spell list and not looking at the map, as I am always doing. So Rorgar gets 8 HP. And
Almost full. Perfect.
And it's on the ground, right?
Yeah, it's on the ground.
So great. Let's try a Sacred Flame. And I don't have to roll to hit it.
That is a dex saving throw. Okay. It does save, unfortunately.
So nothing happens.
Sorry. So what happens is you cast your spell, and you notice a small bit of flame appear on its shoulder, which immediately puffs away. Laja, if you can give me an Arcana check, please.
Something that I am historically very great at.
Hey, that's good enough. So you're realizing this thing is magical in nature, obviously, which might also impart a bit of magical resistance on it.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I think we learned that last time when I attempted to use a Divine Smite, and it didn't really help.
Yeah, I'm going to, I guess, use my movement to move without the ruler on, move up a little bit. That way everybody is in range for next round. There we go.
And we move back to you, Rogar. So your ballista at this point is reloaded.
I think seeing this dragon on the ground, Rogar is going to spend his movement and action just to get within melee range.
Okay.
So that's 60 feet. And then as a bonus action, he's going to cast Magical Weapon on his battle axe.
And as you finish casting your spell, a light kind of illuminates your battle axe. And, even though it's 12 o'clock, it's brighter than normal. It's still very dark, but you all see, Guardian, even as you're the closest, the light of Rorgar's axe as he charges the dragon. And I believe it takes us on to Ballista Crew number 1. So they had reloaded, so if you'd like, they could just take the next step, which is to aim.
I think that's smart.
Yep, just go down the list of things to do. Don't skip steps.
Moving to crew number 2. Really the only thing they can do at this point is they can move the dragon if you want them to, or they can just hold steady.
Yeah, actually, let's move the dragon closer. It's less distance for us to run.
Okay. Well, you are kind of a problem, Guardian, because they can't really move it closer over you.
Well, they can move it up to me.
Actually, they can move it all the way to Laja if you want them to.
Maybe not that far.
Yeah, just I guess have them move it up 5 feet.
Okay, so just like right there.
Yeah.
So the team of men, let's say there's 3 of them. As you've walked away, Guardian, they've taken your position at the chain, and all 3 of them pull and manage to pull the dragon slightly closer to you.
Good.
Let's see, Ballista Crew 3, who are all the way off here in the corner. Really, the only thing they can do is just start to reload.
Yep.
And we move to the dragon. So now the dragon is on the ground. The first thing it does is it turns into your direction, Guardian. And, yeah, within 30 feet. Gives all of you a look. So I think that's you, Wargar, and you, Guardian. I need both of you to give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Guardian is just out of my aura of protection.
Yay, wisdom saving throws again, my favorite type of throw.
I should have planned this better.
Fuck's sakes.
I would have moved into a spot that kept you within 10, but I didn't. Fuck.
I
So
was
I
waiting for the illithid to come out now.
get a bonus +3 to this one.
Okay.
So 16?
You actually managed to save Wargar, and it's very good that you did. So let me tell you, I'm sorry, Guardian. I promised no mind control, and I lied because this is now reading the description, basically mind control. So you've been charmed by the dragon, and you can do a check to see if you can break through this at the end of each one of your turns, unfortunately, like before. But now that you are charmed, the magic of the dragon has caused you to fixate yourself on Laja. And what it's ordered you to do is on each of your turns, you have to move as close as you can to Laja and use one of your actions, just one attack on Laja until you've broken the magical effect. But if you're in range of Wargar's aura, you will have that bonus. But that's something, unfortunately, you can't do until the end of your next turn to check. So that's what the dragon first does. And then it turns to you, Wargar, and makes a swipe, let's see, with 2 of its claws. Maybe its front claws come down at you. 27 and 27.
Both of those hit.
That is 28 slashing damage. And then it swings around and swipes its tail behind it at one of the buildings that's off to the side here. Basically, it's making an attack on the town of Bryn Shander, and with a 19, that will hit. The armor class of Bryn Shander, I don't know if you saw the sheet, is 10. I call it Hope and Foolishness. That's its AC. So it actually hits. So I'm keeping track of the damage here. But as the tail of this thing swaps around or whips around, it hits one of the buildings, and the building just kind of crumbles. And as it crumbles, you hear cries from inside of the people that were hiding inside of it as it collapses to the ground. But that is the dragon's turn. We'll move on to Suzanne.
I think Suzanne will just move closer to the dragon and attempt to attack it.
She's 15 feet up, I believe, so you have to factor that in with her movement.
Yeah, she has 60 feet of fly, so I think just to get to there should be fine.
Okay.
And then she will attempt to sink her teeth into the steeled buttocks of this Chardalyn dragon.
An 18 actually hits. That's actually a good hit for her. So Suzanne, yeah, she leans in and bites a big part of the metal part of the dragon's armor and leaves a kind of a large scratch from where her bite was. And the dragon kind of looks to her and spins back around as most of its attention is actually on Rogar. But I think that moves us to you, Virion.
All right. After seeing Guardian run up and get in its face, and Rorgar run up, and Suzanne, Virion is going to run up and take a big stab with the Moonblade.
19 hits.
All right. Would that have been with advantage if Rorgar's is that flanking there?
Yeah, I'd count that as flanking, yeah.
All right. Let's just to see if we would have crit. No. Okay. So first swipe. I don't know why this is for here. Oh, that's only if it's undead. All right,
Yeah.
so that's 8 damage. And then taking another swing with the Moonblade. 16.
16 does not hit.
All right. But the penguins will pop out on that first strike and start nibbling away inside the net at the dragon's feet.
And as before, when your blade strikes the dragon, you can see like there's a visible amount of damage here, which is much better than your arrows before, which seem to have little impact. But the Moonblade, as it strikes it, lets off like a slight hum as it hits the metal of the dragon.
All right.
But moving on to the people of Bryn Shander, what would you all like the militia to do at this point?
I think their spears would be slightly more effective, but I think I'd prefer they just stay away and fire the arrows and hopefully do 1 damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want them to get up in there because I feel like they'll just get in the way more than they'll be helpful.
So unfortunately, they roll a 3. Let's say their arrows strike the dragon this time, but also no noticeable damage at all. And arrows, Virion, as you're standing there attacking the dragon, you notice arrows flying past you and just like chinking off the armor of the dragon. So Guardian, what I've got to have you do is you've got to move your full movement to Laja, and if you're in range, you have to make 1 melee attack. I'll let you pick the weapon, and then you can do your save.
Yeah, 26.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I believe that's 15.
Awesome.
A 2 will not work for you. So Laja, you have Guardian in your face, and he attacked you with his chain.
Real quick, I need to see if I retain concentration. Okay,
Yeah, you're good.
that's fine. I'm trying to figure out what would I conceivably be able to tell about Guardian. Guardian has been known to act very weirdly sometimes. By which I mean Guardian has been mind controlled many times. I feel like it might be reasonable for me. I kind of want to hit him, but I don't know if that's going to do anything. Oh man, this is going to cause more of a trouble for me to heal up, but you know what? I have a hammer. Let me change that to strength. Does the 12 hit him?
You have advantage. He attacked recklessly, didn't he?
Oh, did
Not-
he?
Not this time,
Ah,
because he's just doing a basic attack. So, no, 12 won't hit.
Unfortunately, too,
Well,
because
then.
he started his rage before last round. He's still raging because he attacked again.
Oh God. Well, here I am. I'm gonna use a bonus action to heal myself. And yep, that'll be it.
And we move on to you, Rorgar. So
oh boy.
you've noticed, you see what happens. You see the view of this dragon as it turned around, that gaze that it gave both you and Guardian. You felt the effects of magic, being applied to your mind, but you stepped back on it. Your resistance caught through, your belief and everything. But you see Guardian immediately turn and run towards Laja, and he hits her with his chain. And like very instantly, that he's under the effects of some kind of charm.
I think at this, Rorgar might know all that, but he also knows that priority one is the dragon, and after what happened last round, he probably can't afford to let the dragon get a free attack. So Rorgar is going to position himself here. He's going to stay within engagement, but flank with Suzanne and get Virion within 10 feet of him. And then he's going to hold his now holy battle axe and take as mighty as a swing down on this dragon. He's going to attempt to hit him right in the eyes. So I've already added the +1 to my attack roll here, so we don't have to worry about adding that in.
Okay. An 18 will hit.
Oh, minimum damage. Come on, man.
Are you just not a divine smite or anything, just a normal hit?
Well, I know from last time my divine smites are like halved, so I'll use my first level spells on other stuff.
Okay.
That's all magical damage now.
Okay. Yeah, so as your axe impacts the dragon, you do notice, like unlike before, you were actually able to see noticeable, appreciable damage when you impact it.
And then I'll make a second attack.
Hey, 22 hits.
Come on, no whammies. Much
13.
better.
Yeah, again, a very vicious attack against the dragon.
Now, the dragon doesn't need to roll like any sort of like concentration check or anything, does it?
No, this is not like a constant spell that it keeps up. This is like an effect that it has.
Yeah, okay. Let me just quickly look at my bonus action stuff.
While you're looking, I'll describe what's interesting about this combat is you're all attacking it, and you noticed this from the last time that you fought it. When you're normally fighting something like a creature or an animal, it makes a lot of noise, like growls and snarls and attacks at you. This thing is totally silent as you're attacking it. It doesn't make any noise at all. The only noise that you hear are the noise that you were all making and all the other militia and everything, and then the beating of like the wings of Suzanne and everything, but you don't actually hear the dragon making any noises.
Oh, I'm so tempted to do something out of self-preservation. No, that's the end of Rorgar's turn.
I think we move on to Ballista Crew number 1. Let's see, they reloaded, they aimed, they can fire this round if you'd like them to.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, let's have them fire. I have it up, so I can roll that. I know, it's so bad. Same with stun. Stun can be no fun for a player.
A 12 unfortunately will not hit. So perhaps a lot of you close to the ground, the ballistas, they aim, they're probably designed to be shot at an angle, but with the dragon on the ground, they can't get a very good angle of attack, and the shot goes wide, and they miss.
The funny thing is I purposely knew that me and Guardian were very susceptible to these effects, and I got this ability so I would be able to keep us from this happening, and then I forgot to keep myself close enough to him. It wouldn't have helped him save, I don't think. But
well, he is now in range, right? For the next time he does his check?
No, it's 10 feet. It's only 10 feet.
Oh, dear.
I couldn't do it without breaking combat. Actually, if you'll let me retcon my move, I was debating using Misty Step to move away from the dragon for a turn. Would you let me do that?
You did attack, then you actually did damage to it. So you
The Misty Step's a bonus action spell.
Okay, so after you attack, you're going to need Misty Step as a bonus to end up somewhere else?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
So Rorgar, after he makes his 2 attacks, he kind of realizes how badly wounded he is, and in a flash, he disappears from sight and appears next to Laja.
So the three of you are now very intimately close to each other in this little block. Very nice. So Ballista Crew number 2 at this point. Really all they can do is move the dragon again, if you'd like.
Can they instead essentially take the help action for themselves? So they're putting all effort into just holding the dragon?
I don't think that's going to really work. I think what you're trying to do is get them advantage on a grapple from the dragon, perhaps.
Yep.
I don't think that's going to work, though, because they count as just one character. They can't give themselves the help action.
Okay. I'm just trying to work it.
Sorry, I don't think it's going to work that way. But you could optionally move them if you move the dragon if you'd like.
I think it's fine where it is.
Okay, moving on to Ballista Crew number 3. So they aimed before, so they reloaded before, now they're aiming.
I think it'd be better if they moved to here.
Oh, okay, then they won't do that. Yeah, feel free to move them wherever you'd like. They can move 10 feet.
Just because I don't think they had line of sight where they were.
Yeah, there's now a building between them. So they slowly push the ballista a little closer around this building. And we move on to the dragon. So what the dragon does is it first turns to Suzanne and then spins around to you, Virian, and uses that presence that it used before. If the two of you can give me a wisdom saving throw, please. I believe you both have failed, unfortunately. So for the foreseeable future, Suzanne is going to have to attack the town of Bryn Shander. And Virian, you are going to have to move and attack Rorgar.
Oh.
You can both do your checks, Suzanne and Virian, at the end of your turn to see if you break it. But what you will both have to do, Suzanne is going to be a lot easier, but you both have to move as close as you can into melee range with your target and then attack them. And then after having done that, the dragon turns around first with its tail and then also with its claws and swipes at the militia. And it hits them with all 3 attacks, so for 46 points of damage.
The dragon just attacked the town.
Basically, yeah.
Because Suzanne and Virian are now charmed as well.
Yeah. The Chardalyn dragon, after it saw its effect of like basically charming Virian and Suzanne, turn its attention away from them and use the rest of its attack to attack buildings and stuff, or the militia that are close by. So what happens is it swung its tail and swung its arms at them, and many of them scatter and run away, and then many of them fall from the attack of the dragon. But moving to Suzanne, I would say Suzanne's probably going to have to move to this building.
Hey, it looks delicious.
And using one of her attacks, I'll let you pick one. If it's the breath weapon or her claws, she has to make an attack on the town. Oh, fortunately, she missed.
Amazing.
Perhaps using mental control, she was able to slow down her attacks, but she doesn't actually really do any damage. She can make a save now, though. It's a, what do I say, wisdom saving throw? Yeah.
Oh, man, I should have been riding Suzanne when we started this fight. Because then we both... Actually, since Suzanne's attacks are... Her bite attack is like her body. If I cast magical weapon just on Suzanne, is Suzanne just entirely a magical weapon?
I'd allow that. As strange as that sounds, I think I'd allow that, yeah.
All right. Okay, so you said a wisdom save?
Yeah. And actually, she broke it. She broke the spell. So Suzanne, after her failed attacks, has kind of stopped herself from destroying any part of the town. She shakes her head and she's regained control. But that moves us to you, Virion.
Okay. I guess I got to run up on my old pal Rorgar. And I guess I'm swinging with the Moonblade since I have that out.
Yeah, it's just one attack.
Just one, okay. Ooh, thank God.
That's a hot miss.
Perfect.
And you can also do the save, Virion.
Add 3 to this, whatever you roll for your save.
Is it wisdom still?
Yeah, it's wisdom.
13.
That's unfortunately not enough.
Son of a gun.
Love it. Love it.
So the town of Bryn Shander, I imagine you want them to fire their arrows again?
If they're dying now, I think it's time to get out those spears.
The ones that have not run away create sort of a line of spears and charge the dragon, and actually manage to hit the dragon. You see the spears row after row, like they do the thing where they'll strike and they'll fall back and the next line will strike. It just doesn't really seem to do much to the dragon at all. But they're landing their attacks. It's just not very effective.
You are doing very well, townspeople. It is very inspiring.
All right, which takes us to Guardian.
I assume I'm just hitting Laja again.
You are correct.
That does not hit.
All right.
And you can do your save as well with the bonus from Rorgar. And that's enough. You shake off the effects of the charm, Guardian. Guardian and Suzanne, since you were under the effects of this charm and you broke it, you are no longer susceptible to it. So if it does it again, you're immune. I would say Guardian, since you used your turn to attack, you still have your move if you wanted to use it.
Yeah, I will just get back in its face. Since I attacked, do I get my secondary action? My second attack?
No. You took your attack action to attack Laja, but you actually only attacked once. But you've already used that action. The only thing you had left was a move, which you've done. You have a bonus and a reaction left still.
I'm talking about the level 5 thing there, where I can attack twice.
You know, honestly, I shouldn't probably let you move because you're supposed to do the roll at the end of your turn.
Okay, Then
I
I'll
don't
stay
think it's going
there
to work
and-
that way.
Okay.
Sorry. I forgot about that stipulation. But going to Leja.
Okay. Well, let me see. Going back over to my spell sheet as always, because now I don't have to attack Guardian.
You still could if you wanted to.
I could, but also let's not this time. So let me see who's the worst off and all. I'm the worst off. But you know what? I'm gonna give it to Rorgar because I think Rorgar's gonna get right back in there. So have 8 HP. And then you know what? I'll cast Cure Wounds on myself at first level. Just to get all that healing in.
Aura of
That'll be it.
Vitality is a beautiful spell.
I do love it. Although I think I only have a little bit of it left. I'll have to count. But I only have a couple rounds.
I think we're only 3 rounds in.
So, Leja, are you going to move or are you going to stand here in the clustered group that you're
I'm
all in?
going to stay here in the clustered group because I feel like they're going to move up and I want to be able to heal them if they move up.
Okay. I just wanted to ask because like grouped in targets like that are prime for things that dragons also
I know
do.
100%
Okay.
and I hate that, but here I am doing that dumb thing.
All right. It takes us to Rorgar.
I know Virion is Will it trigger an attack of opportunity is interesting.
I don't think it does because the effect doesn't say anything about having a reaction.
It specifically just says they make 1 attack.
It says they have to use their whole turn to move as close as they can into melee range, and then on their turn and then after that make 1 action with 1 attack. It doesn't say anything about a reaction.
I do see where you said the CR level of this could be pretty out of whack.
Yeah, we'll bet.
Is this square engaged with the dragon?
Yes. Yeah.
I'd like to go to that square then. And then Rorgar will, with a roar, swing his battle axe as hard as he can, attempting to dismember. Maybe he's attacking the front leg of this dragon, attempting to chop it off.
Go for it.
Oh, and as a bonus action, I will use my Channel Divinity to use Vow of Enmity, which gives me advantage on every attack against this dragon for a minute. So let me just get a dice out as a timer. And there we go.
A 14 unfortunately does not hit.
Okay, we'll keep going.
And you have advantage, so 20 does hit. Yes.
Another minimum damage roll. Oh. It's really all or nothing with Rorgar.
This thing has a ton of hit points, but I promise you're chipping away at it. All of you are. It's death by 1,000 cuts in this battle.
Let me just make sure my Channel Divinity doesn't use like concentration or something. I don't think it does.
What about magic weapon? I meant to ask that.
Magic weapon is concentration, yes.
Let's see, I don't think Virion even hit you though, so I don't think it matters.
He whiffed big time, and I made fun of him for it.
You were right to do so.
So Ballista Crew number 1, I guess they can reload.
I think that's a good idea.
Ballista Crew number 2, anything you'd like them to do?
I think they're just holding on.
Okay.
I don't really see a point in moving moving the dragon.
So the three probably terrified men at this point hold on to the chain for dear life, not really sure what to do if the dragon starts to pull on it, but they're there.
They have a great story to tell, though, if they survive.
And ballista crew number 3 off in the corner.
I guess it now aims.
Okay. So next turn they can fire. Oh boy, but moving on to the dragon here. Yeah. So the dragon leans in and kind of ignores you, Wargar, but leans towards you, Guardian and Laja. Opens its mouth, or actually, it has no mouth. The front of its vents glow a bright gold, and a line of golden destruction come from its mouth, and it stretches forward 120 feet in a 5-foot line. So it catches both you, Guardian and Laja. If you can give me,
should have partial cover because I'm in front of her.
not in this case. But it doesn't matter. It's a dex saving throw anyway. If y'all can roll that for me, please. Guardian, you managed to jump out of the way. Laja, this is one of those times you'd want to use inspiration.
See, I was debating it. I think I'm gonna go with that because I don't want this. Yep. Go. No. Even worse.
I am so sorry. The full force of this blast hits you. So, Guardian, with your save, you only take 15 radiant damage. Laja, you take the full 31.
Okay, bye.
Ouch.
I think,
Nice knowing you guys.
yeah, I think you were still raging, Guardian. I don't think you've gone one turn without attacking.
Yeah, I'm still raging, so I only take 7 damage.
And that is the dragon's turn. Moving on to Suzanne.
I hit the wrong button to talk. I think Suzanne will just move back to a position to attack the dragon. The cold breath could be good, but I don't know if it would be effective. I think Suzanne will just attack.
Unfortunately, a 9 does not hit. She goes in like a jump attack at the dragon, and even wrapped up in the net, and this thing as large as it is, it's still very nimble, and it steps aside and she misses. I think we move to you, Virion, and you gotta chase Wargar, unfortunately.
All right, we're chasing him down and taking another swing. Milo, get out of the way. With the Moonblade.
Closer.
But not a hit, which is important.
But
And
you can roll that wisdom saving throw again to see if you break the effects.
Oh, amazing.
Don't think a 2 is gonna work for you.
I will use my inspiration to let you reroll that.
Oh,
And remember, you get the +3 from me.
I'd really hate for you to have wasted this, so.
Hey,
17.
17 is enough.
Oh, thank dear sweet Lord.
You shake your head, and you are also immune to the effects. So I believe the only person that ever has to worry about this again would be Laja.
Ooh.
Can't be charmed if you're unconscious.
That's true.
Exactly. It's just playing the big brain move here.
So moving on to the people of Bryn Shander, I'd say they are inspired again by all of your bravery, and they move in with their spears again and do nothing. So perhaps they lost their formation this time and they don't hit the dragon as much, or the few attacks that go through do no damage, but the fine people, the fine militia of Bryn Shander are no help.
I just imagine they all make the same sound that Steve Smith does on American Dad. Eh! As they try to hit the thing. And it's like, you do nothing.
Probably most of them are afraid to even get close. After they seen what the tail was done, they just saw the big like column of gold destruction that took out Laja. They are very afraid to even get close, so their attacks just don't have much energy behind them. But takes us to you, Guardian, and you can show them how it's done.
And I'm just gonna walk up to it and whack it a couple times.
An 18 hits.
And you know what? Just because I'm gonna reckless attack for the second one, because I want to grapple it.
I think I should have brought this up before, but I don't think you can actually grapple it because it's more than two sizes large. It's more than one size larger than you.
That's a 19 hit.
A 19 does hit. I see 25 total. Yeah, as you swing your chain around both times, make a solid impact on the dragon, and actually one of the plates on the side of its shoulder goes flying off with one of your impacts.
Neat.
Takes us to you, Laja. Quit dying.
Stop that.
I'll try.
You have two more opportunities to not disappoint us.
Onward to you, Rorgar.
I wish I could help. I can't even take healing word as an option. Just cure wounds. I have advantage on my attack, so I'm Rorgar is just going to continue swinging away. Still attempting to just hack off the front leg of this creature.
And a 22 will hit. And so will the 25.
Sorry, I'm just debating. I can roll the damage. I'm just debating something else. That's the third minimum damage I've rolled. Is this creature considered undead?
No. I don't think it's giving anything away, but this is considered a construct. It's basically a machine.
Oh, my divine smites do 100 extra damage against constructs.
Good to know.
Sure they do.
Yeah, I think Suzette probably was giving you advantage. I had moved her there to hopefully do that.
Oh, if she was given advantage, then my reckless didn't trigger. Because
Okay, yeah, you would have had advantage, but you hit both times either way.
Rorgar is going to hold on to his spell slots for now.
Okay.
That's 17 damage. Not the best. Could be better. Could have been like, I don't know, 15 and 15 or something, but we're making progress.
The ballista crew number 1. So let's see, they have reloaded. They can aim if you'd like. Get ready for another shot.
yeah, let's have them just go through the motions.
And number 2, is holding their position, I guess. Do you want to move the dragon in some way?
No.
Okay. And number 3, which I believe we're lining up for a shot. So if someone wants to take a shot, they are able to do that now.
Varian, you take the shot. I tried last time and I failed.
All right.
Remember, you're rolling their stats, not yours.
Yeah. But I believe in you.
Unfortunately, a 10 does not hit.
Well,
Oh,
you rolled.
16.
Yeah, you rolled the wrong thing.
Is that not it? They're
You
dead?
can just click on the fire button for the ranged attack.
So we can keep the roll and just add the 6 to fire, so that would be a 16, and that is still, unfortunately, a miss.
Dinger.
I call shenanigans. The random number generator would have definitely given us a better number.
Yep, rigged.
I hacked it. It's true.
I'm playing this session under protest.
I'm
So
having fun out of protest.
what the dragon does is, who's the last person at Rogar? After your strike, it kind of adopts a wholly different posture and puts its legs, coils its legs underneath its body and tries to kick off from the ground. So what it's going to do is try to break from its grapple that's keeping it on the ground. So if someone can roll for me, I guess a strength check for Ballista Crew number 2 versus the dragon.
I feel like Guardian should. He's been rolling well for the grapples.
Okay.
Remember, you're rolling the crew's stat, not yours. So the crew's strength.
22.
Unfortunately, the dragon, the crew had been doing their best, but as the dragon puts the full force of its strength behind it, what happens is it kicks off from the ground. The net that's surrounding a part of its wing snaps
1
and
second.
breaks.
It's trying to move. Opportunity attack.
It's not moving yet. It broke its grapple. So
Okay.
basically, it can move now. So Ballista Crew number 2 is not grappling it anymore.
I might get to actually use my Sentinel?
Yeah. Ow, my back.
So it takes us to Suzanne because breaking a grapple like that, it's a full action for it.
I think Suzanne will attempt to grapple the dragon.
Sounds good. I'm assuming she's going to use strength athletics. Dragon rolled a 10. And Suzanne rolled a 9.
Jeez.
So she tries to catch it as it breaks free, but she's just not able to. And see, maybe she wraps around a part of the tail and it just slings her off to the side.
Suzanne, I am still very proud of you.
I think that takes us to Virion. Virion, you've shaken away the charm from the dragon, from its malevolent gaze, and you've regained your control.
I like to imagine that Rorgar is like just under my blade, and then I stop for a second. I'm like, oh, that's not the right guy. And then I will sidestep over to the dragon and take a hack with the Moonblade.
Unfortunately,
Hey.
that will not hit.
But Susan's flanking though.
That's right, Suzanne is flanking.
Oh,
A 21 does hit.
there we go. Thank you for pointing that out. Four
4 damage.
whole damage. And we'll go one more swing with that Moonblade.
A 16 does not hit.
But the penguins do hit. And they pop out on Suzanne's side and just the ever so softest nibble of the ankles of the dragon.
It's not a penguin kill, unfortunately, but yeah, there's penguins swarming all up and down this dragon, but it doesn't seem to mind at all as it gathers its wings to prepare to go into the air. That takes us to the fine folks of Bryn Shander, the militia, who are going to continue their spear attack, which again does a whole lot of nothing. And we move on to Guardian. So Guardian, this thing isn't flying yet, but you can tell it's getting ready to.
What would I have to do to like hop on its back?
Probably make like a dex acrobatics test, perhaps.
I'm just gonna hit it twice. With advantage from Suzanne.
22 will hit. A 19 will also hit. I think that's 28.
Yep. Now wait.
Yeah, 28.
Yeah.
So again, you swing around both attacks, strike the dragon, chipping off away more of its plating. You see underneath the plates as you're pulling them away that it looks like there's mechanical bits, like gears and stuff, that are actually driving this thing.
Noted.
There's a bit of a soft glow you can tell as because you're very close to this thing. There's a glow kind of from the back of its head, like between the plates, that's sort of a silverish color, but you can't. That's not what you've been chipping away at. You've been chipping away probably around the arms and the shoulders. But takes us to Elijah.
And Elijah, don't disappoint us.
You need to roll a 20, please.
Fat 20.
Oh no.
Elijah.
So
I said
Elijah's
no
trying to die over
Is
there.
it loading?
Yeah, you rolled a
It
9.
didn't load on my screen.
Oh, that means you get to roll again.
No, that means I refresh roll 20.
So Rorgar, this is a great time on your turn to go heal Elijah.
I am incredibly tempted to. But there's a good chance that I am the only one that can stop it from flying away. I think this is a good point. This is probably where my oath tenets will apply. So give me just a sec to read through those. By any means necessary, my qualms can't get in the way of exterminating my foes. So I think I have to continue to attack the dragon.
Okay.
I don't want to.
We're gonna find Elijah's long lost sister, Saja.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Lasha does legitimately have a bunch of siblings, but they would be nowhere near here.
Well,
I think
another thing you can do, Rogar, is just kill the dragon.
Easy.
and then
Just
she
do
still
it,
has to
right.
make the save. I do think I have to make my 2 attacks against the dragon.
Go do it.
Varian has no spell slots, eh?
Unfortunately.
I already asked him.
Well, a 24, that works.
Well, all we have to do is stabilize. It's just a medical check.
I have plenty of healing magic. I have almost all my first level spell slots. I have 5 points of lay on hands because I saved that on purpose.
Well, no, I'm just
I need to keep the dragon here.
I'm just gonna say Ballistic Crew 2 can go try.
A 22 does also hit for 11.
I mean, come on, Rogo, you can do it.
I think I have to stay here to just as a last ditch attempt to keep the dragon from flying away. Because if it flies away, we're in big trouble.
But that last strike has actually sliced a good portion of its left arm, which is closest to you away, and you can also see the machinery and bits of, work just fall away as the part of its arm goes with it. But Ballista Crew number 1, they can take a shot.
Now I wish I'd saved my inspiration.
Yeah, Garn's just going like, fire!
Somebody like to give it a roll. Don't forget to click the fire. Don't just do the dex check.
Elijah, do you want to click the fire button?
Sure.
I believe. Yay! 19.
So a 19 does hit. So what you're going to need to do, Laja, is roll the strength check for me, which will oppose the dragon to see if they were able to grapple it when they hit it.
Well, I have a question, though. Since a lot of gears are whirring around and being exposed, does the net just get sucked into that?
No, I don't think so. And the dragon unfortunately rolled a 22. So what happens is the net does hit the dragon, it wraps it up, but as the dragon turns, it's getting ready to take off, it just pulls the netting to pieces.
Hey, Josh.
Yes?
Did you hear about the deaf shepherd?
The deaf shepherd, no?
He gathered his flock and herd.
Nice. See, guys, this is how you get inspiration.
No.
Did
There
you
you
hear
go.
about the blind carpenter?
You just have
he's
another
Tanner.
tab open.
I think he
Tell us
went.
the
He opened the tab. He did. I'll give you one for effort. One for effort.
Perfect. It's not for me.
So Ballista Crew number 2. Let's see. They're the ones that lost the grapple. So like they'll have to reload and everything. Like they're starting from square one here. So imagine y'all want them to do that, and we'll move on to number 3. Crew number 3
Oh, no,
off.
no, number 2 was supposed to go help Laja. They just need to do a medical check.
Let's say that Garn runs up to help you, Laja, because that'll be interesting if this works. So
Come
on your
on,
net,
Garn.
let's see, does he do a medical check? Gosh, I don't have any stats for him at all. So let's just do sort of like a death save. We'll do just a 1d20 and see what happens.
From me or from Garn?
From you, from me, since I rolled for Garn since he's helping you. Let's say a 10. Let's see. I'll say that's enough to stabilize you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
But only just. Like maybe he does a bad job because he rolled a 10. But Ballista Crew number 3 off here in the corner. They're the ones that fired and missed. I'm assuming they're just going to reload.
Yeah.
Okay, and the dragon puts its legs underneath it, kicks off, and flies 60 feet up in the air, giving all of you an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
I have a horribly dumb idea. I want to stick my left fist, like my whole arm, into its neck where its gears are at.
What is the objective here?
Well, I got a magical chain that can't break that's going to get sucked in with it. And it can't detach from me. I'm going to become the biggest damn wrench in its gears.
Let's see, how could I play that? Let's see if you hit first. So if you want to roll your attack, Guardian, if you all want to do one attack of opportunity on it, you can.
26.
Okay, 26. So go ahead and roll damage for me too, Guardian, and we'll figure out how we're gonna let you grapple.
Yeah, I think this becomes more simple if I hit.
And you do.
All right, so his speed is reduced to 0.
Nice. And Virion also hits. So Rorgar, how does this mechanically that makes sense, but what describe that to us? Like you strike him and he doesn't take off? Like how does that work? That sounds
Yeah,
pretty
so I
epic.
think I've been hitting that front leg over and over again. So I think as I see him putting the pressure on it to push off, I just hit it one more time and it causes him to stumble as he attempts to fly off. And that keeps him in place.
Sounds good.
It's like a chop block.
So Guardian, let me know. Do you still want to be attached to him?
Yep. Because all those spinning gears, they can't destroy a magical item.
Because see, as rules is written, you can't actually grapple him because he's larger. So why don't we do?
I'm not trying to grapple him. I'm trying to have my arm ripped off and clog up his insides.
Guardian also counts as larger for that, doesn't he?
No.
I don't think
Ah,
so.
damn it.
I think there was
Well,
there was some options he could have taken to perhaps beat, but this thing is actually 2 sizes larger than him.
He gets his carrying weight, right?
Yeah. But what I'm trying to do is, you said there's spinning gears and moving parts inside of him that we can now see.
Yes, from his arm, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm basically shoving the magical item chain into him along with my arm.
Well, we can just say that's the damage you did because I don't think you're going to get more mechanical than just killing it at this point. If you're not trying to like stay with it as it goes somewhere, what you're doing now is like trying to break it by breaking the gears. We could say that's a description of the damage you did. But I don't think it's going to have anything other mechanical than that at this point.
I could still be attached, but not grapple. Like, well, shit.
Oh, I guess Suzanne would get an attack of opportunity as well, right?
She does, yeah. She also has advantage because you are all flanking. 23 hits. All right. So this is interesting. What happens is, Rorgar, as you attack the dragon and you keep it down on the ground, Suzanne, in a coordinated attack, jumps at its neck. Her bite sinks around. You see her kind of growl, and her bite continues to go closer and closer, and it crushes the plates down on the dragon's neck to the point to where she finishes her bite. It snaps the dragon's neck completely clean in half, and like the first half of the neck with the head attached falls off, and the dragon just kind of falls to the ground, motionless.
Oh! I think after a quick beat of amazement, because I don't think Rorgar truly believed that this would work. He was just prepared to go to give his life in service to Bahamut and Torm. So after a quick beat, he eyes wide. He'll go to Laja, and I will give her 5 points of lay on hands healing to wake her up.
And as you come to Laja, you see standing or sitting next to you is Garn, and he's wrapping some of your wounds in like basically a part of his fur is his shirt that he tore off because he's not carrying medical supplies or anything at all. And he says, sorry, I couldn't exactly save your tunic there. It looks like it's kind of singed.
Oh, that's fine. How is the dragon doing? And I'll look around and see Rorgar there and kind of look confused.
Dawnbringer, I believe we've done it. Guardian, is it still moving?
Arm's just stuck inside of its torso. I'm trying to pull it out. Finally ripping my arm free. It's all mulched up. Most of the armor's gone. Varian, you can see like there is like vines wrapped around what looks like bone and a bony hand. Some fingers replaced with, bark and stuff like that. And he's just looking at his hand. Well, shit.
Well, I'm gonna get up, dust myself off of the snow that's probably gotten all between my scale mail. And I guess Rogar and I will go back over to the others.
You get an
Take a
extra
look at this
5.
dragon.
You get an extra 5 points of healing from cure wounds.
Oh, beautiful.
As you approach closer, you see what Suzanne has done. She's taken the front half of the dragon's neck, so the half part that's connected to the head. She's got it in her mouth, and she's like beating it on the snow.
Yeah, good job. Guardian's
Suzanne,
flexing
you were-
that weird bony hand.
Suzanne, you were wonderful. You proved that you were truly the greater dragon.
And she finally drops it and seems very happy with your compliment and just kind of curls up there on the snow. And you can see from the damage that she did from like her teeth and also beating it, that glow that you noticed before, Guardian, kind of coming out of the back of its skull, or the metal part, the metal skull that it has. There is a silver glow coming from inside, and it's still glowing.
Guardian will walk over to it and reach in with his left arm.
And as you're reaching in, you hear, "Somebody out! Somebody inside!"
Was that this? You start pulling the plating off. Like, the hell?
And you manage to pull the plating because it's mostly broken now because of the job that Suzanne did on it. And you find you kind of pull your way through it, and you notice that the machine, all sorts of mechanisms or stuff, are wrapped around a gem that's about the size of like a softball. And this gem it has a silver glow about it. It looks kind of like a moonstone. But as you pull the gem away, the voice that you heard before is obviously coming from the gem, because the gem itself says, "Oh, hello. Thank you for rescuing me. Man, it's good to be out of that thing."
Do we all hear that, Gem? Or just
Yep.
Guardian?
It's speaking audibly, yeah, not in your mind or anything.
Okay.
The hell are you?
Oh, yes, I guess we should introduce ourselves. My name is Professor Scant.
Nice to meet you, Professor. Did you know you were inside a dragon that has destroyed multiple towns and killed countless people?
Yeah, it's been kind of terrible. Not exactly how I wanted to spend my day. Those terrible dwarves, they found me and they implanted me in this thing as its brain, and I don't really know how they did it. I guess through some sort of sorcery that I don't exactly know about, they managed to use me as a way to give this thing intelligence.
Huh.
Furion will hold his sword up to the orb and just say, "Well, your murdering days are over. Arrest this orb."
How do we arrest an orb?
It was the brains behind the operation. Surely it has to go somewhere.
And the gem says, okay, I didn't really do anything, but my hands are tied.
You don't have hands.
Yeah, smart group here.
Yeah, the brightest.
Elijah, if you can give me an Arcana check, please.
He just holds onto the orb for a second. And Rogar, he hands it to you, and as he's handing it to you, you can see like there's a skeletal hand entwined in roots and some bark as he's handing it to you.
I'm very confused from getting attacked by this dragon. I'm not following what this orb is saying. I don't understand what the orb is doing here.
It's probably magical. That's about all you know.
Guardian, this dragon has changed your hand into some sort of roots.
Now that's how I normally look. And he just grabs his helmet and lifts it off.
Oh, shoot! Has that been that way the whole time?
Yes. Puts the helmet back on.
Did you know? Pointing to Elijah and Varian, did you know
Yeah, they should have.
I'm honestly not following too much of what's going on right now.
I'm just
I'm
waiting
gonna
for the
go
guards
sit
to
down
get
for a
here.
minute. I'm just gonna plop in the snow.
Speaking of the guards,
Sheriff Southwell approaches. He apparently has an injury, that he's kind of holding. He's got his arm, slightly bandaged, and he's holding it. And he says, "Did you really want us to arrest this thing?"
I honestly don't know. A question for you. Why was I hearing screams? I thought people were being moved into, what did you call them? Where'd you go? Catacombs?
The sheriff says, "Well, only a few of the houses actually have basements. We never, you can't dig too far here. It's mostly rock. So most of the houses are built on the surface. This is the only shelter we could provide people, was to be in their homes."
Guardian, I meant to tell you, but the dragon attacked too soon. The bishop refused to allow people to take shelter in the church.
I would say, unfortunately, he is somewhat responsible for some of the losses we had.
Hey, Sheriff.
And Southwell says, "Yes."
You're going to ignore any complaints coming from a temple in 5 minutes. And Guardian's walking towards that temple.
The orb that you're carrying, Guardian, are you taking it with you?
Oh,
I gave it to Rogar.
I'll give it to Rogar. And the orb, as you're holding it, Rogar, he says, "Well, if you're not going to imprison me, I could perhaps be some help."
In what way, friend?
Well, my name is Professor Scant, and I have inside of my magical library, as you could call it, a whole host of information about Icewind Dale. Anything you might want to know about the history of the Kingdom of Yithrin, the exile of the Frost Maiden. I'm also a specialist on vampirism and the traits of vampires, rituals surrounding the making, bottling, and drinking of particularly rare ruby-colored elven liquid, our liquor called Elverquist. If you want to know anything about those, I could tell you anything you'd ever want to know.
Actually, that does sound very useful. You do know that Frost Maiden has escaped whatever exile was put on her.
Yes, I do believe I remember hearing the dwarves talk something about that. It's not entirely surprising, being a, malicious god and all.
Well, I'm sure we will have some questions for you, friend. Is there any way we can help you escape this prison that you're in?
Well, you managed to kill the dragon and break me out. As far as I'm concerned, I'm free, unless your friend here, and has no way of knowing who he's referring to, unless your friend gets his way and puts me in jail.
You're just okay being in this gem?
Yes, that is entirely what I am, is this gem.
This is incredible. I have not experienced this in my lifetime.
I know, it's like magic, isn't it?
And I know I look older, but I am very young.
Well, I had a few other ways to describe your appearance, but I guess old would be one of them.
And I do take that as an insult.
Good.
Great. Did Laja also go to the temple with Guardian?
Or no, Guardian went.
Laja, you may be more knowledgeable about what this professor is talking about. I believe we should not let our friend Guardian go alone to this temple.
Should I try to catch up?
I think we all should try to catch up.